Here's Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer not coming to you from Mercedes-Benz at Baton Rouge Studio downtown in the capital city. Instead, right here at the Ameristar Casino Resort in Council Bluffs, Iowa, just across the Missouri River from Omaha, Nebraska. It's day 4 of the Men's College World Series, and we are fired up to be here. Our Monday show is brought to you by Gulf Coast Office Products. Jacob Beck, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos in Baton Rouge, and fired up that you're here with us for the next couple of hours. We have got a loaded show, as you might imagine. We got to talk about Saturday's thriller in Charles Schwab Field. LSU takes down Arkansas. Certainly preview LSU and UCLA tonight. I'll get you updates as Murray State and Arkansas continue on. They'll start here in a couple of minutes from right there across the river. Jeremy Rudder from Baseball America is going to be with us in 15 minutes. He wrote a great piece up at baseballamerica.com about Cade Anderson and his outing and what his teammates had to say about facing him in the fall. Luke Bunch, physical therapist with Ochsner, is going to be with us in 45 minutes from right now. And we've got some recruiting news as well that we'll get to in hour number 2. So lots and lots and lots to do. Lock us in the same way you do each and every day. And we'll start with our Genesis opening drive.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive, presented by Genesis of Baton Rouge.
What a ball game on Saturday night. LSU 4, Arkansas 1 is the final, and it just was an incredibly high-level baseball game by LSU. That's the thing that impressed me so much about the Tigers and the way they handled themselves on Saturday. It starts with your ace. You got to have an ace. You got to have an ace in Game 1s of SEC series. You got to have an ace in your regional and your super, and you got to have an ace when you get to Omaha. And Cade Anderson's that guy for LSU. And I told you on Saturday in the preview show, I told you back on Friday when I was broadcasting from here, kind of getting you ready for the weekend in the standard Friday show. It's like, look, when Cade Anderson pitches, LSU's 15-2. Now they're 16-2 when he's on the mound, and he was sensational for 7 innings. 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned on the homer, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. I thought that Cade did an incredible job in a couple of different respects. One, he kept Arkansas off the barrel all night. I know that the wind conditions are blowing in significantly and that the park is very big and it's hard to score runs. But Arkansas didn't hit the ball hard. You, of course, had the home run that Robinette hit. Aloy had a sharp single into right center field, yes. But you just didn't have a lot of hard contact outside of that. You got a couple of soft ground balls for double plays. He got 7 punch outs, and he just smothered Arkansas from start to finish. And that's a lineup that crushes left-handed pitching. 4th in the country in OPS against left-handers entering that ball game. They feast on lefties. They did it to Liam Doyle 7 days previous. And they just had no answer for Cade Anderson for the first 7 innings of that ball game. I thought that you might potentially have an issue. LSU did put up the 3 spot in that second inning, and it took a long time. And that's the same thing that got Cade Anderson in the Super Regional, where he was sitting on the bench for a long time during those huge LSU outburst innings against West Virginia. And then he came back and just wasn't very sharp and gave up 6 earned runs. It was the most he'd given up in his career at LSU, certainly the most he'd given up this season. And I was curious how he would respond for another long break there with that 3-run inning that LSU put up in the second. And it looked like, might not be great. Leadoff man gets on a walk, and then he gets the double play ball. Got the double play ball. And that's the other part of this that was so important for LSU is that Anderson only walked 2, and the 2 guys you brought into the bullpen, which I'll get to in a second, didn't walk anybody. So you only issued 2 walks in the game, and you didn't make an error. Plus, you had the 2 beautiful double play turns, Braswell to Dickinson over to first base at Jared Jones. So you were just so solid and never gave Arkansas anything. And on the flip side, Zach Root just didn't have his stuff. And you come out there and you issue 2 walks in that second inning, and both of those guys come around to score because Daniel Dickinson drops down that gorgeous drag bunt for a single, and then you did what you needed to do to get the runs home. Braswell squares, you get the hit by pitch. Josh Pearson puts the ball in play, beats it out, and they gave you some stuff. They gave you 2 walks and a hit by pitch, and that's what you can't do because in this ballpark, the way that it plays, runs are at a premium in every game. And you just can't give them away. And Arkansas did that early, and that was enough for LSU throughout the game. The insurance run, I thought, was massive from 2 perspectives in the 8th inning. One, it was massive against the psyche of Arkansas. You had gotten Cade Anderson out of the game. It was only a 2-run game at 3-1. You're right there in it. Bloop and a blast, walk from Shores. Like you're in that game in the 8th inning. It's a 2-run game, and just for LSU to tack on right there with 2 outs was had to be mentally deteriorating to Arkansas. And then you look at the actual functionality of getting the run in, and it was even more impressive because Arkansas had gone to Cole Gibbler. And I gave the stats on Gibbler on Saturday's show. I think I talked about it on Friday as well. But Gibbler has essentially been unhittable in the last month. In his last 9 innings of work, he had not allowed a run. He had struck out 13 and walked 1. That left-handed slider is just outstanding. And he threw it to Curiel on the first pitch, swinging strike. Threw it to Curiel on the second pitch, swinging strike. Threw it to Curiel on the third pitch, got it a little bit up. Curiel smoked it into left field. That's a hitter. He's just a phenomenal hitter. And that's a tough pitch to hit, and he hit it. And it was just a massive insurance run there for LSU to push across the 4th. And then we got to talk about the LSU bullpen, which obviously did its job. I was pretty stunned that Jay Johnson pulled Cade Anderson at 100 pitches. I mean, we've seen Cade up over 100 pitches in just about every start. He lives over 100 pitches. And he had it going. He was great. I know that he let the leadoff man on there in the 8th inning, but I was pretty shocked to see him go to Chase Shores. And we were curious what Shores' role would be and who LSU would go to in a really tight game late. And he showed that confidence in Shores. And Chase Shores came out there and spiked his first breaking ball right to the backstop. And you can go back and look at the LSU Sports Radio Network YouTube page, and you can see my reaction to it. My head completely fell into my hands because, that's the bad Shores, and you might have the regional Shores that walk the bases loaded in this tight spot. You give Arkansas something, it's just a nightmare. And after that, Chase Shores was brilliant. We talked to him yesterday after practice. Yeah, I think the first pitch was just kind of a fluke. The nerves were certainly there, but it just made a bad pitch. And then he came back, got the 2 strikeouts, throwing 100 miles an hour. He was the first guy in this College World Series to hit 100 miles an hour, and it was great to see Chase Shores get on that mound and be a dude because LSU's got to have him. I talked about the 3 key guys that I kind of was looking at for LSU in this College World Series. I wrote about it at LouisianaSports.net. I had Cade Anderson, Chase Shores, and then I had Derek Curiel. And you see in that game, Cade Anderson, Chase Shores, and Derek Curiel were absolutely massive in that game. Case and Evans came in, slammed the door. It's great now that those 2 guys didn't throw a ton of pitches. You look at the pitch counts, Chase Shores threw 10, Case and Evans threw 13. They're more than available to go in the ball game tonight, and they've gotten that first mound time jitters and put into the back because that's something that they've already done. So huge deal. And that's the LSU side of this thing. As far as Arkansas goes, I think that Dave Van Horn did the right thing. He made the right call, taking Root out in the 2nd inning. It stunned me in the radio booth. But it was the right call because Root didn't really have it. 2 walks and a hit by pitch. His command was not there. He was missing big. And he felt like at that point they were trailing 3-0. There was a runner in scoring position. If it gets to 4, if it gets to 5, you may not get that against Cade Anderson. So they've got Gabe Gackle ready to go. We knew Gabe Gackle was going to be the next guy in the game after Root left, whether that was the 8th inning or the 2nd inning. And it turned out it was the 2nd inning. And Gackle did exactly what Arkansas needed. He worked 6 innings of 1-run baseball, and he kept Arkansas right in it. They had a chance until he exited the ballgame to win it. He struck out 10, only walked 1, and now they've got Zach Root available probably for Wednesday. If they can beat Murray State today, beat the loser of LSU and UCLA in that game tomorrow, then they'll have Root ready to go in the first game that they have to win on Wednesday, and then they'll have to win another one on Thursday. But I think it was the right decision that Dave Van Horn made. It was probably a hard decision to take your ace out of the ballgame. And Zach Root, we know, is wildly competitive. He is massively competitive. And so you know that you had to wrestle the ball out of his hand in the 2nd inning of that game. But Dave Van Horn is a veteran coach, and he made the right decision. Unfortunately for Dave Van Horn, Cade Anderson wasn't going to let any runs score, so it didn't matter if it was 3-0 or 4-0 or 5-0. Arkansas was only going to put up 1 run. So I thought it was a tough decision Dave Van Horn made. I thought it was a good decision that Dave Van Horn made. Last piece of this puzzle for LSU on Saturday, and then we'll kind of move forward into looking toward the rest of the College World Series. The Tigers struck out a lot in that game, 16 punch-outs, and I know that's frustrating as a fan to watch that. Here's the deal. Gabe Gackel's really good. He's as talented a pitcher as there is in the College World Series. He's probably got the best slider of anybody in the College World Series, and he's got it with a fastball that's up to 97. I don't understand why it didn't work out for him as a starting pitcher this year at Arkansas. He was their Friday night starter to begin the season, and it just, Charlotte, the 49ers, had 9 runs on 10 hits against him earlier this season. I don't know how that's even possible, but it is. He just didn't get a lot of outs as a starter. And they moved him into the bullpen, and he's really, really tough. And that's a tough matchup for a lot of guys, including Bear Jones, and we'll talk about Bear Jones a little bit later. But it's a loaded pitching staff. Root is an SEC ace. Gackel has the best slider in the College World Series. Gibbler's been unhittable for a month and a half. And Christian Faust, the guy they brought in at the end, throws 99 miles an hour. You knew, and this is something I definitely hammered home a lot on the Saturday show and probably on Friday as well, but definitely on Saturday. Like, there was never, under any circumstance, going to be a comfortable at bat for LSU in Game 1 against Arkansas because they have too many talented pitchers to go to. Even if one of them doesn't have it that day, you can just go to the next one. And that's what you ended up seeing with Zach Root coming out of the game and Gackel going in. Well, now Gackel's got it, and he's going to run with it. And so they were fully loaded, ready to go. And so, like, you're looking at a Murray State team today that's going to face Arkansas that does not have Root and does not have Gackel available. Well, that all of a sudden makes things a little bit more manageable for you if you're Murray State. LSU was having to face Arkansas with every bullet in the holster ready to go. And that's going to be difficult. And I would like them not to strike out 16 times. But the fact of the matter is that there probably wasn't a more talented pitching staff in the country than Arkansas entering the season and certainly entering this College World Series. And LSU had to face all of it fresh. And so now you get into this thing, and Arkansas's got to win 4 games in 4 days. And I do want to talk about that a little bit later on in the show because they do have the guys to do it. We saw LSU do it in 2017, and we saw LSU do it in 2023. And Arkansas's got that kind of ability. But it's tough. It's really tough to do. And so there's a reason why getting that win in the first game is so vital. How many times last week did you hear me say that 4 teams in the last 45 years have lost their College World Series opener and then gone on to win the whole thing? It's just really, really hard to do. That's the mountain that Arkansas has got to climb at this point, and LSU does not have that issue today. They got to win one more, which they have not done in this spot in their last 2 trips to the College World Series. But if they can, they're certainly positioned very, very well here in Omaha. We're here at the Council Bluffs Ameristar Casino and Resort. It's been an awesome stay. I hope I'm here for another week. But the sportsbook's been fantastic, watching a lot of golf, watching some College World Series as well. They got Arkansas and Murray State queued up on the TVs in there right now. And if you're planning on coming up here to watch the Tigers, make this part of your either stay or your trip up here. Come eat some great food and watch some awesome television, some sports in the sports book. I'll be here as long as LSU is here at the Ameristar in Council Bluffs. That's our Genesis opening drive. We'll step aside. Excited for our next conversation. We're going to talk to our guy, Jeremy Rudder from Baseball America. He's got a great piece up on their website right now about Cade Anderson's outing and what Cade's teammates had to say about facing him back in the fall. So I'm excited to chat with Jeremy. We'll do that when we come back on the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Rufino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Rufino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure remarkable experiences for their guests that's always remembered. To see the menu, visit rufinosrestaurant.com. Rufino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life. This summer, bring your backyard to life with a pool from Renaissance. Known for custom craftsmanship and one-on-one attention, Renaissance Home and Pools turns your vision into reality. Owner Joey Blanchard brings 20 years experience and cutting-edge 3D designs, so you'll know exactly what to expect every step of the way, from the first sketch to your first swim. Renaissance delivers pools built to inspire and to have fun in. Visit builtbyrenaissance.com and let your backyard renaissance begin.
Big news. Employee pricing is still going strong at Robinson Brothers Ford. You pay what we pay. That's right. You pay exactly what Ford factory employees and executives pay, including the F-150, Super Duty, Bronco, and Expedition. Robinson Brothers Ford is the dealer you can depend on with employee pricing on every new Ford online and on Airline Highway. And as always, no unexpected fees. Since 1946, Robinson Brothers Ford. Excludes TT&L registration, insurance, and dealer doc fee. Courtesy transportation units.
You've been searching for. Book your getaway today and enjoy a beautiful escape in any of their luxurious guest rooms or suite overlooking the gorgeous LSU lakes. Whether you're here to shop or hotel at LSU is where weekend, come by, grab lunch, or shop at their alumni gift shop. Visit thecookhotel.com to book your stay today. That's thecookhotel.com.
Hey, it's Hunt Palmer. I'm here to tell you about my friend Jonathan Carbo and the Highland Insurance Group based right here in Baton Rouge. At the Highland Insurance Group, they pride themselves on technical expertise when it comes to commercial insurance. If you're a business owner who isn't familiar with the details of your current insurance program, you're not alone, but now is the time to fix it, not after the hurricane or the car accident. Call the Highland Insurance Group today to set up a free audit of your policies and let their experts place your program with one of the dozens of carriers they're contracted with. Or find them online at the Highland Insurance Group, highlandig.com.
Start living life to the fullest. Join all of our patients who have transformed their smile in just one day at the Fusion Implant Center. Hi, this is Dr. Leo Reagan.
And I'm Dr. Michael Casadaband. Dentists from all over Louisiana are referring their patients to the Fusion Implant Center, where we specialize in treating missing teeth and creating that perfect smile in just one day.
Dentists recommend Fusion Implant Center because our board-certified doctors ensure that every procedure is done correctly, painlessly, and cost-effectively in our state-of-the-art facility.
The Fusion Implant Center is the only facility in Louisiana equipped with a team of experts where no procedure is too complex. So if you have failing teeth and want to eliminate dentures completely, ask your dentist about the Fusion Implant Center.
Make today the day you change your smile forever. Call us or visit FusionImplantCenter.com. Remember, one moment can change a day, and one day can change your life. Your perfect smile starts at the Fusion Implant Center.
When we started GMS Mortgage here in Baton Rouge 26 years ago, do you know where we wanted our headquarters to be? Here's a hint. We've never moved. That's right. We started in Baton Rouge. Our loans are processed and underwritten in Baton Rouge. Every step of the mortgage process happens here in Baton Rouge. When you're ready to buy, build, renovate, or refinance, please check out gmfsmortgage.com and choose GMFS Mortgage of Baton Rouge, your local lender.
NMLS number 64997 is an equal housing lender. Mortgages originated at 7389 Florida Boulevard, Suite 208, Baton Rouge, Louisiana 70806.
Live from Omaha, powered by
Jeremy's on.
Health for everybody, and presented by GoFlow Ivy Spa and Yingling Flight. You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Gulf Coast Office Products.
They're underway on day 4 of the Men's College World Series over at Charles Schwab Field. It's Arkansas and Murray State in an elimination game, scoreless early on here from Omaha. It's time now to chat with the guy from Baseball America. Jacob Rudder is our guest. We appreciate a little bit of his time. I think he's coming to us from Charles Schwab Field. We'll see if he's on the Jim Farms hotline either way. Jacob, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing quite well. Really enjoyed your piece that you had up on the website earlier about Cade Anderson and your thoughts on his performance on Saturday and chatting with some of the LSU players about facing him back in the fall. And they're pretty fortunate they don't have to do that now. Arkansas felt the brunt of that on Saturday. What did you enjoy about Cade's performance against the Hogs on Saturday night?
You know, it's hard not to enjoy the whole thing. You watch Cade Anderson, I think there's a growing consensus. I don't know that there is, a unanimous decision on this, but I do think that there was a growing consensus that he was trending towards being the number 1 overall pitcher in this year. And we saw that the other night. He really was front runner to go ahead of the top at the college level, and the reason for that is because of the capability that we saw. All pitches, all strikes, able to command everything. The fastball looks really good with lots of spin right up. When he breaks off a huge high spin curveball that he can throw down with great.
He's got a true four-pitch mission. That's not something that he had as a freshman last year. He really worked hard in the offseason to develop that. I know you got a kick out of talking to some of his teammates about facing him in the fall. What did they tell you?
And it's just difficult. I mean, the bottom line from them was that it's not hard to face. It's hard to face Kate Anderson. I mean, we're talking about somebody, like I said, who can locate four pitches. He's dangerous with all of them. And the biggest thing is that he's able to confuse you because you don't really know what's coming. I don't know that there's a pitch that he's not comfortable throwing in his arsenal, and that's huge. I mean, we don't see that with every pitcher at this level and at his age. And so the ability for him to, command everything and work it to both sides of the plate too is really spectacular, and it keeps hitters off balance, and his teammates got for that.
Anthony Einson will get the ball for LSU against UCLA tonight. I know you've watched a good bit of him as well. Folks generally think that LSU may have the best one-two combo in the College World Series, and we'll see how that goes tonight. What do you like about Einson's game?
Well, first of all, let me say that I tend to agree. I do think that they have the best 1-2 in college baseball. Another guy who's really capable of drawing a lot of swings and misses. His fastball is quality. He's able to draw whips off of that with ride to the zone. Very similar to Kate Anderson in that respect. And the other thing that they're similar in is the curveball. I think that Anthony Einson's done a really good job of kind of reinventing his usage this year relative to what he did at his previous stop last year. He kind of refined how he attacked. The curveball didn't need to be as high a usage pitch as it was for him last year, and now that it's kind of lesser, it's able to be a pitch, it's able to draw swings and misses, he throws it outside of the zone, and then you can use that slider to kind of back it up as a second off-speed pitch. And so this is another guy who's dangerous with multiple pitches. He's capable of generating whips at a very high rate, which obviously you guys are familiar with. And yes, I do think that that is probably the best number 2 starter in college baseball at the moment.
UCLA's staff is interesting to me. Tell me if you disagree, but I see a staff with good numbers, great production, not necessarily eye-popping stuff, but John Savage is a really good pitching coach, and they've done an awesome job getting to this point. What do you see in UCLA's staff and much about their starter tonight, which, of course, is the right-hander Landon Stump?
Yeah, this is a team that kind of thinks where everybody's at, especially the case on the mound, because they're going to attack, they're going to throw a lot of strikes, and they want teams to make contact. They're comfortable playing defense against you. And for them to play winning baseball, I don't necessarily think that's as strikeout reliant as we see in the SEC. And you watch Kate Anderson and Anthony Einson, they're striking the whole yard. We can go the same way. Gabe Bruce, Missouri State, has an even fastball to draw swings and misses. UCLA doesn't want to play that game. They want lower pitch counts. They want clean pitching. They don't really want to get into the business of walks. And the most important thing is that they're able to control contact and pitch to the defense. It's a little bit of a different look, and LSU will have to kind of cater to that a little bit and adjust. But if LSU can play sound, non-hitting baseball, putting the ball in place, spraying the gaps, I really like the chances of the defense.
Yeah, that was kind of my next question. Like, how do you handicap tonight's game?
I think that LSU just needs to continue to do what we've seen the last couple of weeks. Baseball, put the ball in play, and pitch well in terms of throwing strikes, not trying to do too much. The biggest killer in this ballpark in Omaha is walks and putting guys on bases and then putting for contact hitting. And that's something that UCLA is going to try and do. They're very good at being able to call and play without lots of power. They don't need to hit home runs to win games. We saw them do that the other day. And I'll try to do it. So if UCLA can be kept at bay in terms of the contact that they're able to make and then in terms of pitching, LSU just needs to put the ball in play. And I think if those two things happen, LSU could win this by a margin.
How impressed have you been with Coastal Carolina, not just in the last 3 days, but in the last month?
Incredibly impressed. And before the College World Series started, I said that I thought that Coastal had a chance to make it to the College World Series, but not win the whole thing. And a lot of that has to do with their football. It is an extremely talented group. We go back to the strike throwing. Jacob Morrison, who we saw last night, was 71% in the zone, 75% first pitch strike. And those are elite numbers. Watch Cameron Fluke, maybe not necessarily the same pitch ability in terms of putting the ball exactly where he wants it, but the stuff is undeniable. Entering the College World Series, the worst ERA in their starting rotation was 3.23. So we're talking about elite pitching and elite bullpen. And they do a great job. So I'm impressed, but I'm not surprised.
Jacob Rudder is our guest from Baseball America. Got a great piece up on their website right now about Kate Anderson and chatting with his teammates about facing him back in the fall. Kate Anderson put LSU in a 1 wonderful spot here in the College World Series. See if they could get a win tonight with Anthony Heinsohn on the mound. Jacob, I'm curious your thoughts on Arkansas's position and how you handicap their odds of coming out of the losers bracket over the next 4 days.
I do think they'll play their way back into a game against LSU. As much as I like this Murray State team, this is an uphill battle. I don't think there's anybody who's going to smartly tell you otherwise. That being said, Arkansas is real good, and this is the kind of team that's constructed to be able to make the kind of run necessary to emerge from the losers bracket. They pitch really well. There are multiple options in their bullpen, which is kind of a defining factor here. And then, like I've been mentioning throughout our conversation here, you can hit the ball into the gap, and you can avoid needing power to offense. You have a chance to be successful. We didn't necessarily see that from Arkansas against Cade Anderson, but I think that's a credit to Cade more than it is a knock on what Arkansas is capable of doing. So I do think that they still have the tools. I wasn't terribly discouraged if they could get through this trap game against Murray State here. Have as good a chance as anything.
Then we'll let you get back to the baseball. Really appreciate some time. Thanks, man.
Thanks for talking.
Jacob Rudder, Baseball America, good enough to give a little bit of his time here as they're playing on over at Charles Schwab. I'm a little bit blocked off from the scoreboard there. I can see the game on the TV, but I think nothing. Still the score. Commercial break. I'll go grab a little bit of a closer look. I'll be candid with you all as I sit here and watch that game on TV. I would really, really, really like it if Murray State could steal one here and just send that 6,000 Arkansas fans and that ridiculously talented team right on back to Fayetteville. I don't have any interest in playing them again. It was a huge matchup on Saturday night. It was an incredible game to sit there and watch. I don't really want to do it again. So let's see if Murray State can catch kind of a shell-shocked Arkansas team that may have had the wind taken out of its sails a little bit back on Saturday night. They can't steal one like they did against Ole Miss, like they did against Duke. It's a scrappy Murray State team. I don't get the sense that they're playing a ton of pressure on them. No one expects them to win. Arkansas is. They've got a massively talented roster. They're playing with their season on the line. They know their coach has never won the national championship. Like there is still some heat on this Arkansas team to get it done. Murray State's just here enjoying the fact that they're in this big, beautiful stadium and they've had the opportunity to go to the zoo and like it's been a storybook ride for them. And when it ends. There's a lot more on the line. So I'm pulling for the Racers, and we'll see if they can't find a way to get to the finish line here against the Hogs. We'll keep you updated as we continue to move forward here. We're at the Ameristar Casino in Council Bluffs. When we come back, I want to talk about some of the other aspects of the College World Series, namely Coastal's move into the driver's seat and what Arkansas has left to pitch moving forward. Do all that when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away. Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still didn't finish the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. You're considering you intentionally self-sabotage. So what's that about?
So, Progressive protect your home and auto because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Before every game, you're reminded that Tiger Stadium is a pantheon of concrete and steel. When it was time to add upper decks, do you know where that concrete came from? It's Louisiana Concrete Products. Whether it's the next Gulf hurricane or Death Valley earthquake, you can trust Louisiana Concrete Products.
The worst corridor for sex trafficking is New Orleans to Houston. Metanoia Manor is a safe house for trafficked girls. It helps with healing and provides education and life skills. Donate now at helpprotectthesegirls.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, #1 sports bar.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techy.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Tracks.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV. Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Super Chevy dealers today.
Struggling to lose weight? Feeling overwhelmed by diets and exercise plans that just don't work? There's a better way. Unique Physique offers weight loss injectable medications. Semaglutide, now only $195 a month, and tirzepatide is only $325 a month. The lowest prices in town. No contracts, no gimmicks, just real results without the hassle. Visit uniquephysique.com or call today to schedule a consultation and unlock your weight loss potential. Unique Physique, your weight loss solution.
River Parish Contractors is South Louisiana's leader in industrial construction and turnaround services. They employ loyal, local talent who are dedicated to quality projects that are safely executed on time and done your way. With River Parish Contractors, they can assist you with industrial projects that stay within budget and on schedule. What sets them apart is their ability to respond and get the job done right. Come take a tour of their impressive facility in St. John Parish or visit rpcontractors.com. Take a swing around the parish to one of Breck's 5 golf courses, 2 championship courses, Santa Maria and Beaver Creek, and 3 courses for the more casual golfers, the popular 18-hole Webb Park, and 2 9-hole courses, City Park, and the newly renovated F. Clark. Breck's courses are designed to challenge every level of golfer from beginner to pro. So come and get into the swing of things. Book your tee time online or find a course near you at golf.breck.org. That's golf.breck.org.
Have you ever heard of a trash company having 5-star reviews at trash? Customers, see for yourself at trashrangers.com today.
Buy Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live from Omaha, powered by Our Lady of the Lake. Championship health for everybody. And presented by GoFlow Ivy Spa and Yingling Flight. This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Gulf Coast Office Products.
To give a hat tip to Kevin Shaw, the head baseball coach at Coastal Carolina today. He made a difficult decision back on Friday, and he probably made it way before Friday, but he made a difficult decision entering Friday's game, and he is being very much rewarded for that as we sit here today on Monday. Coastal Carolina has got 3 very, very good starting pitchers. Jacob Rudder is their best. He is the Sun Belt pitcher of the year. He was entering the College World Series 11-0. His ERA on the season is 2.08. He's sensational. You saw him last night, 6'8", big boy, throws hard, big breaking ball, throws a ton of strikes. That's a guy that is their dude. Riley Eichhoff and Cameron Fluke have been good as well in the weekend rotation. And Shaw looked at this bracket. He goes, okay, I got Arizona in the opener. And Oregon State is potentially waiting on the other side. And I think Oregon State's probably a little bit better than Arizona, who doesn't really have an ace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop up Friday's game. I'm going to go with Eichhoff and Fluke for 4 innings apiece. Then go to my closer, Dominic Carbone, who's been sensational for them. He's got 5 saves and the ERA at 2.5. And those 3 are going to get me by Arizona. And then I'm going to face Oregon State and I have Jacob Morrison ready to go. And he's going to beat Oregon State. And then I'm going to have a day off on Monday. And then Tuesday, I can come back and use one of those 2 guys, Eichhoff or Fluke, if I want to. And if I don't, and I want to hold them, and if I lose that game, I can still play another one. Then I have that flexibility because I'm in the winner's bracket and I'm 2-0. And it worked out perfectly. I didn't hate Paul Maneri's decision to do this in 2015, if you remember. LSU played TCU in the opener, and then Vanderbilt was waiting on the other side, and the Vanderbilt team was loaded. And he threw Jared Poche against TCU. And Poche didn't get knocked all over the place against TCU. He couldn't throw the ball to first base on a bunt, which didn't help. But he held Lang, and it ended up that you didn't face Vanderbilt. You placed Cal State Fullerton, and Lang beat them in the loser's bracket, and then you got knocked out. It's hard to do. It's hard to have your best guy. It's not like Jared Poche was some sort of scrub. He was a very, very easy all-time wins leader. But you didn't use your guy that was 13-0 or 12-0, whatever Lang was, when you got to Omaha. You went to Poche, and that's a hard thing to do. But when it works, it looks like genius. And Shaw use it, and it worked, and it looks like genius. I thought Morrison was sensational last night. You heard Jacob Rudder in the last segment talking about how he was 75% first pitch strikes. He lived ahead, threw the breaking ball when he needed to get outs, and he put a good Oregon State lineup in a blender. I mean, it's a legit lineup. Ava Arquette, top 20 pick. Gavin Turley is a star there. I mean, they've got real dudes in that lineup, and Morrison was just better. And Coastal Carolina is national championship good. I mean, I realize that they just won this thing back in, 2016. So it's not as shocking this time around, but this is a different brand of Coastal Carolina than that was. That was a physical offensive team. When Coastal Carolina came through the box and beat Alex Lang, hit 4 home runs off Lang. They were a physical, impressive team. They didn't have a lot of talent on the pitching staff. They rode a couple of guys all the way through that were flipping 88-mile-an-hour sinkers up there. This team is not that. They've got some good hitters, but their pitching is what's carried them, and the decisions that their head coach made to chop up game 1 and game 2 has paid in spades. It's very similar to what you generally do in a regional, but this ain't a regional. This is the College World Series. You're talking about Arizona and Oregon State here, not some 4 seed that no one's ever heard of. So I thought that he deserves a huge hat tip as we sit here. Now, let me talk about Arkansas for a second, because this Arkansas team has got to be a little shell-shocked, having faced Kate Anderson and fallen the way that they did. But when you look at this pitching staff that Arkansas has, like they are throwing Gage Wood right now. And Gage Wood is very going 5 or 6 innings against this Murray State team. We'll see what happens, but that's kind of what he's been since his injury, a 4 or 5 inning guy, 6. But they have got enough guys to go in this game to Parker Coyle, to go in this game to Aiden Jimenez, to go in this game to Ben Bybee. Those guys can pitch in this game, and they've all got ERAs under 3.5. And then if you get to tomorrow, whether that's UCLA or LSU, you can go out there and throw Landon Vitalshees, who started 12 games for you and is not a dominant pitcher, but you can go to him with the rest of these guys, with Christian Fouch ready to go, and with Cole Gibbler ready to go, with Steele Eves ready to go. Like, those guys can go in the game tomorrow. And now you get to Wednesday, and Zach Root only threw 40 pitches on Saturday night. You give him Sunday off and Monday off and Tuesday off. That's 3 days rest for 40 pitches. He's ready to go 5 innings, and I think would take the ball in a heartbeat in that game, which is in the regional format, in the final round, where there'll only be 2 teams left in that. So you talk about it's very doable with weekend starters to get through this, because you've used Gage Wood pitching today. He's a starter on the weekends for you. Landon Vitalshees has been a weekend starter for you. And Zach Root is your ace, and he would go in the 3rd game here. Now, that leaves you a little bit exposed on Thursday, but that might be a spot where Gabe Gackle's ready to go on Thursday. I believe it would be a spot where he's ready to go. So I can't nothing ever goes exactly according to script. And I've told you a lot of times that to come out of the loser's bracket, essentially, you've got to ask somebody or multiple people to do something that they haven't done all year. And in this instance, like, I'm not looking at them needing a 6-inning Nate Ackenhausen game that you got from him against Tennessee that nobody really saw coming. I don't see a Caleb Gilbert shutting down Oregon State over the course of 7 innings. That he hadn't done that all year. Like, that's not really what you're asking here. You're asking basically everyone to kind of do what they've done all year between Wood, Vitalshees, Root, and then kind of Gackle, plus all these Jimenez and Fouch, Bybee and Carter and Eves. Like, I realize that most of you probably aren't fluid in the Arkansas lineup, but I'm just like, this pitching staff is talented enough to get this done. There's still a little bit of a fear factor there. But the good news is all we really care about is how Arkansas relates to LSU. So if LSU plays Arkansas tomorrow, then you're talking about facing probably Vitalshees, who's left-handed, but certainly not a dominant arm. He was okay against LSU at the box, but not a dominant arm. And that would be the time you would play Arkansas, because one of them's going home if they both have a loss. But if LSU wins tonight and finds Arkansas on Wednesday and then potentially Thursday, well, if that's the case, then you're going to have Cade Anderson ready to go on Thursday in a save your season spot. That's the same spot that you saw Paul Skeens and Rhett Lauder throw in that College World Series 2 years ago, where both of them pitched on Saturday to start. Both won those games, and then you turn around and they're ready to go again on Thursday. So the good news for LSU in relation to Arkansas is that you'll either see Landon Vital-Cheese probably tomorrow, or you'll have Cade Anderson ready to go against him again on Thursday, which is not a position that you desperately want to be in playing on Thursday. You might keep Cade Anderson on his regularly scheduled pitching regiment, which means you need to win this game and the game on Wednesday to get Anderson ready to go in the final. But again, that's something that we'll worry about when that time comes. Right now, Coastal Carolina is sitting in the catbird seat across the way, and we'll see which of LSU and UCLA emerges in that position after tonight. This is the game that has tripped LSU up for the last 2 trips to Omaha. Now, they've overcome it both times, but this is the one that's tripped them up. I think the difference is we're going to preview this LSU and UCLA game in the first segment of the second hour. So in 20 minutes, I'll give you everything that I've done research-wise on this LSU and UCLA game. But in 17 and in 23, the scariest team in your bracket you saw in this spot, not the first game. So in 2017, LSU played Florida State in that first game, and it was a wild game that LSU had to come back in to win. And then you had to play the scary Oregon State team that beat you. Eric Walker left that game with the injury, and you lost that game against that really good team. Back in 2023, you played Tennessee, but you had Skeens on the mound, and that wasn't one of the best Tennessee teams, and they didn't throw Chase Dolan, or actually they threw Andrew Lindsey at you in that game. So that was one that you figured you were going to win when you got the ball put in your hand because there were Skeens. But then you played the Big Bad Wolf in the second game, and that, of course, was Wake Forest, who was great that year. They were great, and they beat you in a really high-level game in that second game. In this instance, I think Arkansas is the team that is most closely rivals LSU, or is the best team in LSU's bracket as far as the competition goes. And you've already beaten them. UCLA's a good team. It's a good baseball team. I'm going to tell you everything I know about them coming up in 15 minutes. But UCLA this year is not near what Wake Forest was 2 years ago, and not even in the same stratosphere as the Oregon State team that LSU saw in 2017. That team had just big leaguers at every position. It was a ridiculous team that was 56-4 when LSU played them in the championship game of the bracket. 56-4. I mean, try to do that math. 56-4, and LSU beat them twice. So this is not that. Good team, good starting pitcher, deep bullpen, maybe the number 1 pick in next year's draft at shortstop, but not the Big Bad Wolf like LSU saw in 17 and 23, and they lost this game. Hopefully, LSU can win this. You heard Jay Johnson say back on Tuesday, back in Baton Rouge, I think it was, he said, I'd really like to try this thing through the winner's bracket one time. Well, this is his chance to do it through the winner's bracket. You got 1 game, 9 innings to get that done a little after 6 o'clock tonight. We're at the Ameristar Casino Resort in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Our Monday show is brought to you by Gulf Coast Office Products, GCOPnet.com, GCOPnet.com for all your printing, scanning, copying needs. It's Gulf Coast Office Products. They work with every vertical market. No matter what you do, they've got clients who do what you do, and they know the needs that you have, and they can help your bottom line, help you in terms of efficiency. They can help you with your printing, scanning, copying needs. Gulf Coast Office Products, GCOPnet.com. All right, we'll come back, have a little conversation with a first-time guest on this show, physical therapist with the folks over at Ochsner. We'll get a chat that I'm very much looking forward to here with Luke Brunch. So we'll do that when we come back on Paul.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Supreme service, supreme savings, and supreme selection are all at Supreme Chevrolet in Gonzales. From the region to Chevy Silverado to Traverse, Trax, Trailblazer, and more, Supreme Chevy has the vehicle you're looking for at the price you want, and the exceptional customer service you deserve. Visit us today or shop 24/7 at SupremeChevy.com. Together, let's drive to Supreme Chevrolet in Gonzales.
Brandon Holly here. Did you know Relief Windows is the window, door, hardy plank, and vinyl siding and interior shutter headquarters of the Gulf South? That's right. For nearly 20 years, we have provided you with a lifetime guarantee. Relief from the heat, cold, storms, and sun. So go where thousands have gone to upgrade the exterior and the interior of their homes. ReliefWindows.com. That's ReliefWindows.com.
Windows.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life again. Feel like another year is just slipping away. Yeah, remember all those New Year's resolutions you made? You still haven't finished the first book. Just 19 more to go. I mean, if we're being honest, it wasn't a very realistic goal. Have you ever considered that you intentionally self-sabotage? So what's that about?
So let Progressive protect your home and auto, because you've got enough to worry about. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
It's the J month of June, and we invite you to bring your creativity and imagination. Then join in the fun with East Baton Rouge Parish Library's 2025 Summer Reading Challenge. Color our world. Enjoy an entire summer of free programs, workshops, story times, concerts, and performances for all ages. Learn more about our summer events at edrpl.com/summer reading. That's edrpl.com/summer reading.
Steak and seafood. Prime steak and seafood. Well, I guess along with those sizzling steaks, we do have wood-fired oysters and scallops, beautiful sea bass, fresh Gulf fish and shrimp, and rich Ora King salmon. So yeah, Stabs Prime steak and seafood. Jefferson Highway across from Palermo Ristorante. Tell Leo that Kevin sent you. Don't forget, there ain't no cake in that crab cake. Come and see us.
Summer's calling, and if water is part of your plan, make Front-to-Back Boat Service your first stop. Now through the end of June, they're hooking you up with 15% off all in-stock kayaks and 10% off accessories during their Memorial Day sale. Fishing, floating, or just cruising the bayou, whatever your vibe is, they will get you right. Hit up front-to-backboatservice.com or swing by the shop. Front-to-Back Boat Service. Your summer starts here.
Brock is growing again. We're proud to welcome Dr. Jeb Broyles, Dr. Mark Hess, Dr. Matt Mossick, and Dr. Alan Schroeder from the Bone and Joint Clinic. Another step in Brock's commitment to delivering high-quality orthopedic care. Learn more at brortho.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend bets against your team, end the friendship. Or choose chill because you're drinking Coors Light with your buddy. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Live from Omaha, powered by Our Lady of the Lake. And by GoFlow Ivy Spa and Yingling Flight. You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Gulf Coast Office Products.
Wrapping up hour number one here, looking at the screens in the sportsbook at the Ameristar. Arkansas strikes first for a run, but they strand runners at second and third there in the second inning. Murray State gets a punch out. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Hogs from Charles Schwab Field. Now time to head back out to the Jim Farms hotline. I'm going to chat with Luke Punch, PT with Auctioner Help. Going to have to give us a little bit of time here on this Monday. Luke, thanks for the time. How are you? It's our pleasure. Look, I know that you're the coordinator of the ACL Center for Excellence over at Elite. That's a facility that is an incredible resource for those in the Baton Rouge area. Can you tell us just a little bit about what makes it so unique?
Yeah, so we're right down the road from LSU. So we're Auctioner's the sports medicine provider attached to it. We've got our sports medicine physicians, we've got physical therapists, we've got our performance coaches, our strength coaches on site. But what's really special that we bring that not a lot of places are able to offer or do offer is a really in-depth and detailed biomechanics lab with a 3D motion analysis system, force plates integrated, that we're using to rehab our ACLs and identify biomechanical faults that cause their injuries to happen in the first place. If we can identify those, hopefully decrease the likelihood that this is ever going to happen to them again.
I think most of the time when people that are listening to this show that are sports fans, they think of ACL injuries on television. They think of those folks are getting the highest level of care and an amazing amount of technology that may not be available to every civilian. But that's not the case, because you all are actually offering that not just to professional and college athletes, but to just everyday injuries, whether that's youth sports or people that are in their adult years. I'm curious what you see as far as the group that's affected the most by these injuries, and what y'all are able to do to help with the rehabilitation.
Yeah, man, I love that you said that, because that's something that we feel really passionate about. Dr. James Andrews said something that really stuck with me a long time ago. Like, if you can do something special for someone else that walks in the door that you think is VIP, then you're not doing something special for every person walking in the door. And you're not taking care of everyone as much as you can. And really exciting to me is I've got a 15-year-old running back from a local high school in here, and then I've got a guy that's in the NFL in here, and then right next to each other in the same facility, getting the same level of care. And I don't think that exists in any other places that I know of. And so it's really we're able to really just offer a level of care and a level of interaction with our physicians and with our team that I don't think exists elsewhere.
Hypothetically, if there was a linebacker that may have suffered an ACL injury, just a random position that I just pulled out of there, as far as a return,
Just hypothetical.
Yeah, just hypothetical. If they're a return 12 months after, you would imagine somebody in their early 20s would be 100% what they were generally before that injury to the care.
And unfortunately, what we know a lot about ACL injuries is that statistically, in terms of research, that like Dr. Burnham, Jeremy Burnham, and I, we read a lot of this stuff. We know that statistically speaking, not everybody is going to be able to come back 100% after ACL injury, but you can actually get there. And some people with really high quality rehab can be better than they were before. They've had a year to just focus on the quality of their movement and their strength and power and their health. I would say that there's a really great chance that with every tool available, that you can be as good, if not maybe even a little better and a little faster than you were before. I tell my patients that if they're as fast as they were before when they tore their ACL, that I've failed them, and that I'd like them to be significantly faster. I don't want them to go back to playing football and just be slow and not any good at it, because that's good out of it.
Tell everybody where y'all are located and where they can stop by if that does arise.
Yeah, we are at the Elite Training Academy at Burbank and Lee here in Baton Rouge, right down the road.
Luke, we appreciate some time. Have a great week. He's Luke Bunch, physical therapist with Ochsner Health. Just an incredible facility over there at Elite. And I say that seriously. Like, I think a lot of people high level of care and expertise just for the professional athletes and elite athletes. It's not true. That we've got an incredible team here with Ochsner that's got such an unbelievable facility, and they're doing things that aren't happening a lot of places in the country. So it's a real blessing for us to have that facility and that group of people in Baton Rouge, and we certainly appreciate them for hopping on early in the week. We have a lot of conversations about Jeremy Burnham, and he was good enough to let Luke Bunch jump in and give us a little bit of thought on that as well. So appreciate Luke for a little bit of time here on this Monday. I'm here at the Ameristar Casino and Resort. It's Council Bluffs, Iowa, just across the river from Omaha, Nebraska. That's where I'll be this evening. 6:09 first pitch between LSU and UCLA. I'll be on the radio call with Bill Franquez and Chris Blair. Your game will fire up at 5:30 from Carolina. You can listen to that in Baton Rouge on Eagle 1, and hopefully LSU can get this thing done tonight and really set themselves up wonderfully for the rest of the week. 2-0 record. That's where you're trying to get. LSU just hasn't been able to climb that mountain the last couple of times. They had to do it the hard way. They've gotten it done. Certainly appreciate trying to do it the easier way, which is winning your first two games and then winning one of the next two, as opposed to losing that second game and having to win 3 in a row. So our friend is just about in the books here from the Ameristar Open, talking about LSU and Arkansas. Kate Anderson, wonderful performance on Saturday. Really, I thought a high-level performance from LSU across the board. They struck out a little bit too much against a great pitching staff that was locked and loaded, but they did enough in that inning to push a few across. They got a big insurance run. Anderson was off. Two guys in the bullpen stepped up and did their job on Saturday. Full reaction to that was at the top of the show today. Jacob Rudder for Baseball America talked about Kate Anderson in the second segment. And then I kind of gave my thoughts on Carolina and Arkansas to this point in the College World Series. If you missed any of that, you can catch it on demand wherever you find your center. You can like, subscribe, rate, review at Hunt Palmer Show, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, wherever you find your center. Just go ahead and look us up. You can find that first hour wherever, or on YouTube as well. We're right here on camera at the Ameristar. In the second hour, we've got tons and tons and tons to do. What's Lamar Brown doing? Is he visiting LSU? Is he not? Is he committing to A&M? Is he not? We're going to talk about Lamar Brown in the second hour. We also got a little bit of Saints news to get to in hour number 2. But to kick things off, of course, we got to preview LSU and UCLA. I'm very excited for this game tonight. I think it's going to be another really good environment. These are two good baseball teams, but I want to talk about UCLA and their talent, what they've got on the mound, what is available to them out of the bullpen, and what this Bruin lineup is going to show, because I think the number 1 pick in the draft next year may be in this lineup. So we'll do all that when we come back for the Ameristar in Council Bluffs.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Look, you probably have never been behind the wheel of a Genesis. Statistically speaking, most of you that are listening have not. That's okay. Make that change. Genesis is new to the game. Get on by and see them. Airline at Pico. If you're getting a new car in Baton Rouge, you're probably going to be on airline anyway. Just make that one more stop over at Genesis. Chat with their brand name ambassadors. Have that discussion. They'll tell you everything you need to know about their wonderful safety features. That start from the entry level all the way up to the highest end. All of them. IHA top safety picks. Some of them top safety picks plus. You can test drive on the lot. You can test drive at your home or your business. Remote test drives are always available. Every car that is on the lot is online at Genesis of Baton Rouge. GenesisOfBatonRouge.com. You can find an airline at Pico. Stop on by. It's Genesis of Baton Rouge.
The Fusion Implant Center would like to thank all of our patients for allowing us to be part of their life-changing transformations. Hi, this is Dr. Leo Reagan.
And I'm Dr. Michael Casadaband. Imagine eating, tasting, and smiling with confidence all in just one day. With the Fusion Implant System, you can say goodbye to dentures and replace your missing teeth for good.
Curious why your dentist recommends the Fusion Implant Center? It's simple. We're the only doctors in Louisiana that do what we do.
We're proud to be the only facility in Louisiana where you receive comprehensive treatment all in one place, provided by the same dedicated team of board-certified experts. It's no wonder so many dentists refer their patients to us every single day.
So don't wait any longer. Make today the day you change your smile forever. Call us or visit FusionImplantCenter.com. Remember, one moment can change a day, and one day can change your life. Your perfect smile starts at Fusion Implant Center.
Looking to beat the summer heat and improve your golf game? Get to Golf Tech Baton Rouge. Call 225-308-934 or visit golftech.com to book your session. Golf Tech Baton Rouge, where better golf begins. Now open on Sundays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Craving an unforgettable dining experience? Tallulah, inside the Renaissance Hotel, where culinary excellence meets a welcoming atmosphere. Awarded the Wine Spectator Award of Excellence, Tallulah is one of just 6 Baton Rouge restaurants to earn this prestigious honor. Join us for live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, or enjoy our weekly Blue Plate lunch specials and happy hour favorites. Visit Tallulah at the Renaissance Baton Rouge, where every meal is a celebration.
Warm weather is here. Make sure your AC is ready. All my friends at River City's 1 Hour Air and schedule your AC tune-up and rejuvenation and get $30 off for a limited time. They'll keep your system running cool and efficient all summer long. And don't forget the Moscona special. Save $25 on any cooling or heating repair. Call River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Tommy here from Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding to remind you that those high electric bills from running your AC too much will soon be here, but I can help. Call me for a free quote to get your home energy-efficient window that will keep the heat out and the AC in. And they have a lifetime guarantee. Please visit GoTommy.com. That's GEAUX Tommys.com to get everything you need from Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding today.
Insurance companies have
Teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is one to see. 3872323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The NBA Finals back in Oklahoma City for tonight's Game 5 with the series tied at 2. The Pacers are coming off a loss in Game 4, but they haven't lost back-to-back games in 3 months. For the Thunder, ESPN's Kendrick Perkins believes Alex Caruso could be the X factor tonight.
And the two games that they have, the two wins that they have in this series, he's had 20 points in both games. And we know what he's going to bring on the defensive side of things.
Kendrick Perkins, Thunder and Pacers coverage starts at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio, 8 Eastern on ABC. Shohei Ohtani makes his pitching debut for the Dodgers tonight against the Padres. He'll start, but only work an inning or two. It's his first time on the mound in almost 22 months. He's coming back from a second Tommy John surgery on his right elbow and a torn labrum in his left shoulder. Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final tomorrow night in Florida, with the Panthers now just one win away from back-to-back titles.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2. Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Gulf Coast Office Products. We're here at the Ameristar Casino Resort just outside the ESPN Bet Sportsbook, where we're watching Arkansas and Murray State 1-0 Hogs in the 4th in that elimination game. The winner will play tomorrow against the loser of LSU and UCLA. That one is tonight at 6:09. It's about time to get you ready for that one, I reckon. The Tigers and Bruins in a monster game this evening. We've got pitching matchups that were announced yesterday evening. LSU going to send Anthony Ianson to the mound. You're well aware of that at this point. Landon Stump is going to get the baseball for UCLA. Well, who's Landon Stump? Well, I'll tell you about Landon Stump. This year he's 6-1. He's made a start all 17 weekends. His ERA is 4.5. He's thrown 73 innings this year, struck out 62. Not unlike most of this UCLA pitching staff, his strikeout numbers are not very high. He throws a two-seam fastball that is about 92 miles an hour that sinks a good bit. He throws a slider as well. He is a serviceable major conference weekend pitcher. He's not a star. He's not a first-round pick. He's not pathetic. He's a serviceable replacement level starting pitcher. It's interesting how John Savage is using his pitching staff with this UCLA team, because we've seen UCLA have superstars on the mound. It goes back to Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer on the same team. Those two guys both won Cy Young Awards, and they were on the same rotation. LSU found out about that in 2010 when they went out to Westwood for the regional and got carved up by Trevor Bauer in the Marvel game on Saturday night. They've also had James Brilliant, who was great. LSU lost Adam Plutko, who's a big leaguer in one of the 2013 College World Series. Like, they've had superstars. This group does not superstar and doesn't feature particularly great stuff. Stumps, as I mentioned, got some average velocity on his fastball, average breaking ball, but he's been good, and they're not going to ask him to go get LSU for 7 innings. They're just not. I think what they did in Stump's last 2 starts is telling. He faced Arizona State in the regional on Saturday. He worked 3 innings of 2-run baseball. He didn't record a strikeout, didn't walk anybody, 3 innings, 2 runs on 2 hits. Came back against UTSA. UCLA is leading that super regional 1-0 on UTSA. Stump starts the second game. He works 4 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. Moving along nicely. No runs through 4 innings. The score's 1-0. 1-0. Starting pitchers in the game hadn't given up a run. John Savage gets him out of the game. Goes to the bullpen. 4 bullpen arms for the last 5 innings. They didn't allow a hit. They win the game by shutting out UTSA. That's the way he's going to handle this team. Stump's going to be out there 3 or 4 innings. If LSU can knock him out in 2, great. But if he's out there, he's probably going to go 4 innings, and then they're going to go to the bullpen. And you're thinking, well, this bullpen that threw 5 no-hit innings against UTSA, is that loaded with just absolute dudes? Well, they're good, but are they elite-level pitchers like Arkansas kept firing out on Saturday night? No, they don't have really anybody that looks like Christian Fowles. They don't have anybody that looks anything like Gabe Gack. They've just got a lot of dudes that have thrown a lot of innings, don't strike out a lot of guys, and sink it and cut it and throw that change up and get some guys out. And that's what you're going to see. The plan is to somehow use 3 or 4 guys in the middle innings to bridge to Easton Hawk. Easton Hawk is the one guy in this UCLA pitching staff that looks the part of Stunt. But they don't. He's a freshman. He's right-handed, big kid. But they don't overextend him at all. He's made 25 appearances this year. He has thrown 23 innings. And if you look at his statistics in his last 5 outings, this pretty much stands out. 1 inning, 1 inning, 1 inning, 1 inning, 1 inning, 1 inning. His last 8 appearances have been exactly 1 inning. And the most outs he has recorded in a single outing this year is 5. He just does not extend. He's a 1-inning guy. Come in, mid-90s fastball, good slider. He leads the team in saves, and that's the guy that UCLA is trying to get the ball to at the end of the game. But it's not a deal like Griffin Herring last year where you could see him come in the 6th just to carry the torch. They don't use him like that. They've got a big number of guys that they're going to bridge the gap. So you never get 3 looks at one UCLA pitch. That just doesn't happen. If everything goes to plan tonight, UCLA will get 3 looks at Anthony Ianson because LSU wants him to throw 118 pitches and get through 7 innings. That's not how UCLA functions. So it'll be interesting to watch how LSU handles this big group of talented pitchers that John Savage has got a ton of confidence in. As far as the offense for UCLA, it's not like the group in 2013 with the dead bats and the huge park that just bunted everything and couldn't hit, and they hit like 214 for the series or whatever it was and ended up winning the College World Series. That's not what this team is. They've got some punch offense. Brock Chalowski is the best player in the country. He's their shortstop. He's a sophomore. He could be the first pick in the draft next year. He and Justin LeBron have kind of similar profiles. Chalowski had a much, much, much better season in a much, much worse league this year, but he's 6'2", from Chandler, Arizona, hitting .362 on the year with 23 home runs. Both of those lead UCLA. His OPS is silly. It's 1223. That's an astronomical on-base percentage plus struggling. It's led by a .490 on-base percentage. He's sensational. He'll hit in the 2-hole. He has a bunch of power, has gap-to-gap strength, and he's going to be a major league player for a long time. They'll hit him right in front of Olavi Levu, who's their 3-hole hitter, who leads the team with 85 runs driven in and 12 homers. Those are the 2 scary dudes in the lineup. The rest of the lineup is solid. They do not strike out very much. And that's something that Anthony Ianson is going to have to work through. If you recall back on Friday when I talked about Arkansas, I said, look, they're going to hit the ball hard every once in a while, which they didn't do a ton of. They did hit the home run. But what Cade's got to do is get a big strikeout when he needs a big strikeout. And they never got a runner to second base against Cade except for the home run. So that didn't come to fruition. But he did use the strikeout. LSU did strike Arkansas out a lot on Saturday night. West Virginia doesn't strike out a lot. And they made life kind of tough on Andy Ianson last week. LSU's offense made sure it didn't matter. But they did make things tough on Anderson and Ianson by not striking out. And that's kind of the profile that UCLA plays with. They're going to put the ball in play more often than they don't. Anthony's going to have to make that's weak contact and wiggle out of to present themselves. But that's the part of the matchup I don't love a ton. But I like Ianson in this matchup anyway because I think he's as tough a pitcher as UCLA will have seen this year. they got Murray State in the first round. So like they played UTSA in the regional, who doesn't have SEC caliber arms. It's a good club, but they don't have an ace that's going to go in the top 40 picks. And Anthony Einson is going to go in the top 40, 45, 50 picks. So it's a team that's going to punt. They're going to small ball it a little bit. We went out to LSU's practice, which was at a nice facility. I don't know what to call it. It used to be Nebraska Omaha, but I don't know what. I think they're just Omaha now. But then when I said they went to practice at Omaha facility, it sounds like the town's facility. It's the college that LSU played against back in the second week of the season that actually beat Anthony Einson, who had 15 strikeouts that day, but Omaha won that game. They went to practice at their facility yesterday, and we went and took in the whole practice and talked to Jay Stewart, Einson, and Jay Johnson. But they worked a good bit on bunt defense and on pickoff stuff. So you can count on UCLA playing some West Coast baseball. And one of the things that jumped out to me about their game against Murray State on Saturday in the afternoon is that Rock Chalowski, who I just got through telling you is going to potentially be the first pick in the draft next year, has an OPS of 12, 23 home runs, playing shortstop. He squeezed a run home, dropped down a bunt, got an RBI. Like, they will do that, whatever the case may be. So a big, big key in this game. Leadoff men. Leadoff men. If you don't get the leadoff man on, you can't really manufacture much offense without the use of getting some hits. But if you walk with the leadoff guy and maybe steal a base, get a bunt down, hit a ground ball to the right side, you can score a run without ever having the ball in the infield. But if you don't get the leadoff man on, you don't really have the opportunity to get that run down. It doesn't make a lot of sense at that point. You get 2 outs. He's like, the leadoff is just so crucial in this game. You let that guy on, you can let UCLA kind of run their offense and try to manufacture. And so it'll be massive for LSU to go ahead and do that and to get the leadoff guy on and don't let UCLA get into their rhythm. I think the Tiger offense will be much better in this game. You don't have to worry about the massive strikeout numbers. That's not going to happen tonight. They're not going to strike out 16 times tonight. I'd be stunned if that happened. I told you this stat back when I previewed UCLA in the middle of last week. UCLA in the regional, they faced Fresno State and Arizona State. They threw their number 1 and number 2 pitchers in the first 2 games. Michael Barnett started Friday. Landon Stump started Saturday. Neither one of them recorded a strikeout in their starts in the regional. Neither one of them had 1 strikeout. They don't strike people out. It's just not a strikeout stat. LSU's going to put the ball in play. They need to put the ball in play hard and in the gaps. If you're going to get the ball out of the ballpark, it needs to be right down the line, like the home run we saw hit on Saturday night. But to me, I think LSU will relax a little bit. They'll hit the ball harder in the game. They should be able to push some runs across against UCLA staff that's deep in numbers, but not high end on talent. So that's my thought on all of the games that we're going to see tonight. I'll talk about it a little bit more as we move forward. Touch a little bit of football today. But LSU and UCLA tonight, a little bit after 6. There's a reason LSU is a minus 330 favorite wherever you may find your number. LSU's a better team. Hopefully they can prove that in the ball game tonight. Here at the Ameristar Casino and Resort in Omaha, Nebraska. We will step aside when we come back. What's Lamar Brown doing? We'll talk about the 5-star from Baton Rouge next.
Palmer Show.
One Thing Closet. AmericanCloset.com is the website David Ball has seen 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Look, bathroom can be a hazardous spot, especially as folks age. You can't take that risk away. Mitigate. So if there's someone in your life who you feel like could be in a hazardous situation in a slipping bathroom, do what you can to help out. Put in those non-slip floors. Put in the shower that has a walk function or a bench function. Put the walk-in tub in, and maybe guardrails around slippery areas. David Ball and his team do that kind of work all the time. If you're thinking, I just don't know if this is the right time for you to pay for that. There are financing options available, 0%, same as cash, up to 18 months. If you qualify for that. So start that process at onebathandcloset.com. Reach out to David Duvall, have that consultation, and do what you can to mitigate that risk in the bathroom. It's One Bath and Closets. You can find them online at onebathandcloset.com.
At Gulf Coast Office Products, we do more than provide office equipment. We optimize efficiency for businesses across all industries. As a nationally recognized RICO dealer, you get decades of expertise to education, engineering, legal, and beyond. From desktop solutions to high production, you'll find the perfect fit for your business moving forward. 100 employees strong. We're ready to help. Call 225-756-2744. Gulf Coast Stars Product, your workplace efficiency lifeline.
The perfect for your next getaway, rent a car for the week at All-Star Toyota and only pay for 6 days. That's right. Get 7 days of adventure for the price of just 6. Whether you're heading out on a road trip, need a vehicle for the week, or just want something new to drive, we have got you covered. At All-Star Toyota, we offer a wide selection of Toyota vehicles ready to hit the road when you are. Conveniently located at Airline and Goodwood in Baton Rouge. Visit us today or check out our website at allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com for more detail. All-Star Toyota. People you know, cars you trust.
Ready to take your brand awareness to new heights?
Experience the power of audio and digital marketing combined with guaranteed digital media.
Our radio branding messages resonate through the airwaves, leaving a lasting impression.
Combine this with digital tactics like retargeting, geofencing, and social media to really boost your reach.
Imagine your radio ad complemented by targeted digital ads, ensuring your brand is seen and heard across multiple platforms.
To learn more, visit 1045ESPN.com and click connect. That's 1045ESPN.com and click connect.
Looking to buy, build, or refinance a home? At GMFS Mortgage, we make it easy because we're local. Our underwriting and processing happens right here in the Baton Rouge office. That means faster approvals, smoother closing, and real people who understand your needs. For over 26 years, we've helped our neighbors in Louisiana achieve the dream of home ownership. Visit GMFSmortgage.com to get started today. We are GMFS Mortgage, your local lender.
GMFS.
NMLS number 64997 is equal housing loan mortgages originated at 7389 Florida Boulevard, Suite 208, Baton Rouge, Louisiana 70806.
Take a swing around the parish to one of Breck's 5 golf courses, 2 championship courses, Santa Maria and Beaver Creek, and 3 courses for the more casual golfers. Popular 18-hole Webb Park and 2 9-hole courses, City Park and the newly renovated J.S. Clark. Breck's courses are designed to challenge every level of golfer from beginner to pro. So come and get into the swing of things. Book your tee time online or find a course near you at golf.breck.org. That's golf.breck.org.
Weekends in Louisiana start with good food and the right beer. Flight by Yingling. Easy drinking and brewed by the oldest brewery in America. Just 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. Grab some Flight and enjoy. Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer. DG Yingling's.
Looking for a roll-off dumpster? At Trash Ranger, we have 3 sizes, and we offer dependable service, personalized attention, transparent pricing, and we're community-focused at trashrangers.com.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live from Omaha, powered by Our Lady of the Lake, Championship Health for everybody, and presented by GoFlow Ivy Spa and Yingling Flight. This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Gulf Coast Office Products.
Monday show is brought to you by Gulf Coast Office Products, GCOPnet.com, GCOPnet.com, all your printing, scanning, copying needs. Trey Beal and the folks at Gulf Coast Office Products have got you covered. You can work with the big box stores, and they'll have all the capabilities you need, but then you get them on the phone when you need them, or you go on a recorded line in Atlanta or San Francisco or something, not necessarily exactly what you're looking for. The mom and pop shop, you can work with them as well. Do they have the capabilities to meet your needs? They'll pick up the phone. They may know your kid's name, but do they have the ability to do everything that you need them to do? Gulf Coast Office Products splits that right down the middle. They've got all the resources that you possibly need anywhere in the state of Louisiana, whether that's on the ground that can help it. If the problem arises or the equipment, they've got $1 billion just right there in the Baton Rouge location, and the customer service is second to none. Trey Beal is your rep, or whoever the case may be. They've got you covered. Gulf Coast Office Products. Check them out online, GCOPnet.com. We're here at the Ameristar Casino Resort in Council Bluffs, Iowa, on this Monday. Gage Wood is carving up the Murray State Racer lineup, but Murray State hanging in there, just 1-0 is the score as they play in the 5th from Charles Schwab Field. It's an elimination game. Loser headed home for the summer. The winner will face the loser of tonight's game between LSU and UCLA tomorrow. So let's move forward with a little bit of football talk here. It's been an interesting 24 hours on the internet as it regards to Lamar Brown. Of course, Brown is the #1 player in the country. If you look at a given website here or there, offensive lineman, defensive lineman, whatever the case may be, he's an elite big man that is just on LSU's campus as a high school student. So you really hope that LSU could do an awesome job and close the deal and get Lamar Brown in purple and gold as a member of this 2026 signing class. But they got a lot of competition. And he was at Texas A&M over the weekend. He's taken his official visits. He's looked at Miami, looked at Texas A&M. Certainly, he's been to LSU a lot, being a UI student. And so there's heavy competition for Brown. And coming off of his official visit to Texas A&M, he basically made it sound like he was not going to take his official visit to LSU this coming weekend. That's obviously something that the Texas A&M staff is telling him, like, hey, you know you like it here. You know you're welcome here. You know what you're a priority here. You need to be here. Don't even take that visit next week. No need to do that. You've got your option right here, and that's a very common way to recruit. Nick Saban used to say you took a visit somewhere else, like your spot's not guaranteed here. Like he was not going to allow high schoolers to go on other visits once they had committed to his program. And different coaches have different thoughts on all that. And my contention is certainly if you're a young person and the NCAA is going to foot the bill or the schools are going to foot the bill for you to take 5 visits around the country and you've never been out of your parish or county in some cases, like that's a pretty cool opportunity to take. I'm all for that. Go see stuff. Go do things. You've earned that opportunity. But coaches don't see it that way. They're like, hey, we want you, so don't go see anything else. And it appeared that that was going to be the case. The Texas A&M was going to win out there, and he wasn't going to visit LSU. That's changed in the last 12 hours. Pete Nakos, Hayes Fawcett, and then Lamar Brown on his actual Twitter profile said, hey, I'm going to LSU. Let's do this. And that was kind of the contention. I've been following this through Trey Dixon and the crew over at the Bengal Tiger on 3. And so, look, that decision's not been made on Monday, whether or not he's going to visit LSU campus this coming weekend. Brown has now figured out that he is going to make that trip. Here's my personal piece on this. Okay, I, as a young person, high school, college, young professional, like lived and died with high school recruiting for the football program. Such a massive deal, and when you lost a guy, it felt devastating. When you got a guy, it was the biggest deal, and I felt that way for a long time. And then you start to realize, like, as young people make decisions like young people do and flip-flop this and that and are committed one place for 8 months and then jump in and sign somewhere else at the last second. The NIL being the way it is now, it's like I can't gather the interest to follow this day in and day out. Not even in the summer when it's at its fever pitch and there are camps going on and visits happening, commitments are prevalent. Like I can't get invested in it at this point. I will tell you this. I think that high school recruiting is still the lifeblood of a college football program. I think it's going to be very difficult for you to sustain a top-tier quality program if you just go get 18 transfers and then they leave and you got to go get 19 the next year and then they all leave and then you got to get 25 the next year and they all leave because you're signing 15 high school kids and then 8 of those are transferring out. That's just not a stable way to get done. You can't win without the transfer portal, but you can't win without high school players as well. So I'm very interested in the end results of it, the process by which these players get where they're going. I can't watch it because, one, they can make a decision and literally change it the next day, and they can sign on the dotted line, go to college there, and leave after 4 months. So, like, I can't – it's something that I'm going to spend a ton of time investing in, whether or not Lamar Brown is going to go to LSU, going to go to Texas A&M. I have a lot of respect for a lot of the things about Texas A&M. It is clearly a wonderful school academically. I do admire their loyalty and sense of togetherness. Do I think it's a weird place? I do. But that's not important because I'm a 37-year-old sportscaster, and these are 18-year-old kids that are picking a place to go to college. We don't look at almost anything through the same lens. So I certainly would hope that a young person from Baton Rouge, tops in the country, would want to go play at LSU. As a person who grew up in Louisiana and did it, but I say the exact opposite thing about kids from Houston who come to LSU. I think it's an awesome decision to swap state lines and go play for LSU. So I hope Lamar Brown goes to play for LSU. It looks like he's a great player, and certainly LSU can always take more big men. If he goes to Texas A&M, that hurts initially because, one, you don't have him, and two, you're going to play against him because A&M's on LSU's schedule. And the other piece of it is it could easily be a situation just like Jordan Gilbert, where he goes to Texas A&M, realizes that's not a great spot, and comes back to LSU. He could sign with LSU, and after who knows? So you do the roster year out recruiting when the dust settles. I'm just not going to be able to spend a lot of time wondering whether or not Lamar Brown wants to go eat a dinner and tour the dock facility and put on a uniform photo shoot in Baton Rouge. I hope he does. I just can't get invested in the day-to-day deal and who's doing. I think LSU's class is going to be really, really good. I think it'll be better if Lamar Brown's a part of it. And I think that half the class that inks with LSU in 2026 probably will transfer out at some point in the next 3 years because that's just the way this thing goes. I think LSU is in a good spot in terms of their plan to build a roster. I think Lamar Brown is in that plan for the next couple of rosters. Hopefully they can get him in and treat him well. He makes that decision, but we'll learn that signing day rolls around in December. So that's our update on Lamar Brown. He went to A&M, was not going to visit LSU, now is going to visit LSU, and no decision seems imminent on where his commitment and signature are going to be, whether it's between those two schools. So a little LSU football update there. If you're looking for LSU football content, you can find it at Hunt on LSU on YouTube or wherever you find your podcast on LSU. We're here at the Ameristar in Council Bluffs, across the river from Omaha, Nebraska, getting you ready for LSU and UCLA tonight. And a little bit of Saints talk that we'll get to in the next segment in my final breakdown of Tigers and Bruins. That'll be a first pitch of 6:09 tonight. If you're looking to listen to it, you can hit 98.1 sister station. Myself, Bill Franquez, and the voice of the Tigers, Chris Blair, will hit the airwaves at 5:30. Come back with more. You're listening to a Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com is the website. Jonathan Carver and his team, phenomenal folks to work with in the insurance game. And insurance isn't the most fun topic to talk about, but it is very important. The option of doing a captive, you feel like you pay a ton for insurance, maybe call the Highland Insurance Group and check into that because they handle captives all the time. Not every insurance broker is doing captives. I personally think it's the future of insurance, but that's just one guy's opinion who spent 7 years in the industry. But I know that there are a lot of folks who have switched over to a captive and are really taking control of their insurance costs because of it. If you've not been given that option and want to explore that with Jonathan Carver and his team, check them out at HighlandIG.com. They're in Baton Rouge. They can help you out statewide in Louisiana, wherever you're listening to me. And so get in touch with them and see what they can do for you as far as a captive goes for your insurance. It's the Highland Insurance Group. You can find them online at HighlandIG.com.
Check engine light, weird clink, truck giving you a shake? Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram can get you in for service today. You don't have to wait. Same day service. Schedule now at BayouCDJR.com. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
This summer, bring your backyard to life with a pool from Renaissance, known for custom craftsmanship and one-on-one attention. Renaissance Home and Pools turns your vision into reality. Owner Joey Blanchard brings 20 years experience and cutting-edge 3D designs, so you'll know exactly what to expect every step of the way, from the first sketch to your first swim. Renaissance delivers pools to inspire and to have fun in. Visit builtbyrenaissance.com and let your backyard Renaissance begin. Water is water, right? Not when it's Evermore. Smooth tasting Evermore water is Mother Nature's masterpiece. Evermore is natural artesian water. Maybe you want a healthier lifestyle, a high-end athlete who wants better hydration, or a parent who wants something healthier for their kids. You want Evermore. EVAR. Evermore. Available at great local retailers.
Start living life to the fullest. Join all of our patients who have transformed their smile in just one day at the Fusion Implant Center. Hi, this is Dr. Leah.
Dr. Michael Castle. Dentists from all over Louisiana are referring their patients to the Fusion Implant Center, where we specialize in treating missing teeth and creating that perfect smile in just one day.
Dentists recommend Fusion Implant Center as our board-certified doctors ensure that every procedure is done correctly, painlessly, and cost-effectively in our state-of-the-art facility.
The Fusion Implant Center is the only facility in Louisiana equipped with a team of experts where no procedure is too complex. So if you have failing teeth and want to eliminate dentures completely, ask your dentist about the Fusion Implant Center.
Make today the day you change your smile forever. Call us or visit FusionImplantCenter.com. Remember, one moment can change a day, and one day can change your life. Your perfect smile starts at the Fusion Implant Center.
Please consider making a donation locally through St. Vincent de Paul that truly helps people in need. If you have a boat, car, motorcycle, RV, clothing, housewares, or furniture you no longer use, please consider donating it to St. Vincent de Paul. This donation could get you a tax deduction. SVDPBR.org. Oxnard Orthopedics Walk-In Clinic offers more than just treatment for sports injuries. With comprehensive orthopedic care in their lineup, patients can get x-rays and treatment for sprains, strains, fractures, all without the ER wait. Whether it's a weekend warrior mishap or a weekday workout injury, Oxnard Orthopedics Walk-In Clinic is there. Active and strong. For injuries big or small, they have patients covered. Now open late and on weekends inside the Elite Training Complex Burbank. 44 Burbank Drive.
Live from Omaha, powered by Our Lady of the Lake, Championship Health for everybody, and presented by Go Spa and Yingling Flight. You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Gulf Coast Office Products.
Here at the Ameristar Casino Resort in Council Bluffs, Iowa, across the river from Omaha, Nebraska, where right now it is Murray State and Arkansas. Feels like the dam's about to break on Murray State here. We'll see. It's just 1-0 in the sixth inning, and it's been a phenomenal effort to this point by Isaac Silva, the Murray State starter. He's held Arkansas to 1 run through 5 innings, 5 third innings of work. Arkansas just stole a base, and they got a run off second base, and it's just a 1-0 game. That's not the problem that Murray State has right now. The problem that Murray State has right now is that Gage Wood is pitching. Gage Wood has thrown 5 innings to this point. He's faced 15 hitters. That is the minimum. He's got a perfect game going. And oh, by the way, of the 15 hitters he has faced and retired, 11 of them have come via the strikeout. So I didn't realize that until I looked at the stat page. I'm watching the game in the sports book here, paying attention to the general goings on of it, but I'm also trying to interview people and talk about the LSU football team and do a segment. So I'm not like locked on every pitch. I did not realize that he struck out 11 of 15 hitters he faced. That is in a nutshell kind of the difference between Murray State playing every weekend in the Southeastern Conference and playing in Omaha and then playing in the Ohio Valley or wherever they were. Wood's an immensely talented dude. I think that when LSU knocked Gage Wood all over the place in the Saturday game of that 3-game series back in Baton Rouge, that was the best offensive output against a good pitcher that LSU gave all year. He's really talented. He's showing in the game today. He's got 11 strikeouts, 2 fly ball outs, 2 ground ball outs. He's only at 66 pitches, so I feel like Wood could finish this thing for Arkansas if they let him. I don't think that that's going to be the case because they have taken it really easy on his workload since he came back from that injury that he suffered early in the season. He's been really a 4 to 5 inning guy, so I feel like maybe 2 more innings at this rate with 66 pitches, 2 more innings at this rate being like 85. And then that would probably be it, and then they'll see where they are there. Murray State's got to try to hold Arkansas at bay. They're right now hanging on by a thread. It's 1-0, but they've done nothing offensively. So I'll keep you posted on that as we move forward. New Orleans Saints have a decision to make moving forward, and it's a good one because right now they've got 89 players on their 90-man roster. You've had a couple of retirements that have been processed with Derek Carr and Ryan Ramczyk over the last couple of weeks, and you've got an extra spot. And this time around, you actually have a little coin in your pocket to go spend to fill that roster spot. In the past, you had to do a bunch of gymnastics to make sure that you had the dollars available to sign someone and remain cap compliant. But now the Saints have the ability to do a little bit of that. Jonathan Bullard is a name that has been rumored in connection with the Saints. He is a really, really good run stopper, and that's something the Saints desperately need. You have what I think is a promising young player in Brian Brzee on the interior, but he's a much better pass rusher and disruptor in the backfield than he is to hold the point of attack and make plays around the line of scrimmage. He needs some work there, and he's going to get it, but he's just a better pass rusher right now than he is a run stopper. So the Saints need someone to come in and stop the run. The Saints' run defense last year was, you could make the argument if you take all the statistics and boil them down, the worst in the NFL last year, the worst. And you're never going to win like that. The Saints are changing up the way they play defense. They're going to change their alignment up. Staley's going to overhaul a lot of things that Dennis Allen had put into place. And Dennis Allen's defense essentially just kind of aged out of its productivity. It was great, good, and it was terrible. With Staley coming in, you're going to have to make some moves. You're going to have to get a little bit younger, and you're going to have to spend a little bit of money in the next couple of years as the salary cap room opens up. And Jonathan Bullard from this team, I think, makes a ton of sense. Ross has written over at LouisianaSports.net that Jonathan Bullard and Brandon Staley's got some familiarity from previous stops. I think that he makes a lot of sense for this team if you can grab him. Asante Samuel Jr. is interesting. You're a little thin for my liking at cornerback right now. He's had a neck procedure in the offseason. He's going to get checked out again in July. If that looks good, you could add him into the mix. You're always concerned when you got a serious injury like a neck. That's something that just sounds scary. So there is risk there. But if the medicals check out and you want to bring him in to compete with Kool-Aid McKinstry, compete with Alante Taylor, and then deal with an early round draft choice that you've made there, I think that makes a lot of sense as well. The last one is one that I really do like. It's Gabe Davis is a guy that Ross Jackson over at LouisianaSports.net mentioned. He's 6'2", so he's not the 6'5" guy that I would like the Saints to add, but he's physical. He's 225 pounds. He is a pro, and I think he does add to what is a suspect wide receiver room. Is he a game changer? No. Is he a little bit different than what you have? Yes. Do I think it makes sense to add him? Yes. Is there risk in him from an injury perspective? Yes. He may not be available until a month into the season or so. But again, when you consider adding someone on the offensive side of the football to this roster, and when you think about doing that with anybody, wide receiver, tight end, offensive line, backup quarterback, anybody, the first thing that I think of is not, well, how do they impact the wins and the losses in 2025? That's not my first thought. My first thought, think about a veteran on the offensive side of the ball is, how do they help Tyler Show? That, to me, is the most important thing. And Gabe Davis, being a pro, coming in, helping be a possession receiver for a group full of kind of downfield threats, which Heed and Olave can't be and Cooks was early in his career. Like, if you think that's going to help his development in any way, I'm for it. Because you're not going to sign Gabe Davis to a 4-year deal. Like, that's not going to happen. All of these are feeling like 1- and 2-year deals, and none of them, as I look at, feel like break the bank type deals. Bullard may command more money than Samuel or Davis based on his position and his productivity, but none of them are going to be ones that I look at and go, oh, I don't know if you should have done that. Like, you're not in a position where these guys are going to command that much money. So I think all three of these make sense for different reasons. You've got one spot and some money to spend. Like, I'm looking at this going, okay, I feel like this makes some sense. There are not a lot of 1- and 2-year deals on this team that I think are big issues. So I like Bullard. I like Samuel. I like Davis. You made me rank them in order. I would go Bullard first, Samuel second, Davis third. But I think any of them would make a heck of a lot of sense. So that's just a look at the New Orleans Saints here on this Monday. Our Monday show is brought to you by Gulf Coast Office Products. We're here at the Ameristar Casino and Resort in Council Bluffs, ready for LSU and UCLA. Let's step aside. We're going to take a longer last segment here. I'll talk about LSU and UCLA. We'll play some take it or leave it. Then my job will be done. I'm going to head across the river and get ready for pregame between the Tigers and the Bruins. Stick with us here on the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Genesis of Baton Rouge. GenesisofBatonRouge.com is the website. Every car that's on the lot is online at GenesisofBatonRouge.com. Look, whether it's the sedan, whether it's the SUV, no matter what your vehicle you're looking at, Genesis has got one for you. They are stylish, they are sleek, they are comfortable. It's a luxury vehicle at a reasonable price. That is the Genesis model. So if I say luxury car and you go, well, that prices me out, well, just look. Go online to Genesis of Baton Rouge and take a look. See what the pricing looks like. And then if you see something that kind of catches your eye and you'd like to test drive it, and you go, oh, but I hate going to car dealerships. You don't have to. They'll come to you. They can do remote test drives at your office, at home. One of the brand ambassadors will drive right out to you, and they will get you behind the wheel so you can feel the Genesis difference. The entire inventory is online at genesisofbatonrouge.com. Every new purchase comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and 3 years of complimentary valet maintenance. It's Genesis of Baton Rouge. You might check them out online at genesisofbatonrouge.com.
Progressive knows you've got enough to worry about in life.
Hi, it's your life.
Promo back. Yeah.
It's not available in
All right, you're good.
Hold on. Let me see what the schedule is for tomorrow because I don't know. I think if LSU loses, they're the night game, but I'm going to check that. No, they're probably the day game. Come on, Internet.
What's wrong?
All right, Tuesday.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
LSU's at night, and if they lose, so okay. So I'm doing this
All right,
show.
you're
I'm
good.
doing my show anyway. All right, ready?
All right, go ahead.
Hey, it's Hunt. Join me for a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Hey, it's Hunt. Join me for a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show from the Ameristar Casino and Resort in Council Bluffs, Iowa. You're reacting to LSU and UCLA, maybe previewing a night game for LSU, hopefully previewing a Wednesday game for LSU. Hunt Palmer Show, Wednesday weekend, ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Are you good?
Yeah. I can't hear anything.
Sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Injuries don't wait for office hours. Neither does Brock. Our after-hours clinic is open nights and weekends, 7 days a week for breaks, sprains, and strains. Walk in anytime. Learn more at brortho.com. brortho.com.
Are you experiencing fatigue, low libido, and muscle loss? Ultimately specializes in testosterone therapy. You'll meet in person with a nurse practitioner who will make recommendations based on your lab work. Testosterone therapy at rejuvimemedical.com. That's REJUVIME medical.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live from Omaha, powered by Our Lady of the Lake, Championship Health for everybody, and presented by GoFlow Ivy Spa and Yingling Flight. This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Gulf Coast Office Products.
Shout out to Gulf Coast Office Products, making our Monday shows possible each and every week, whether that's back home in the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio or here in the Ameristar Sportsbook in Council Bluffs, Iowa. Shout out to Trey Beal and the folks. Check them out online at gcopnet.com. It's Gulf Coast Office Products, all your printing, scanning, copying needs. Gulf Coast Office Products. Bit of an issue for the Murray State Racers. They have not gotten a base runner through 6 innings. Gage Wood is throwing a perfect game through 6 innings right now. He's thrown 78 pitches, 53 of them for strikes. He has 13 strikeouts. Murray State has put the ball in play 5 times to this point. An absolutely sensational performance by Gage Wood to this point. I mentioned that Arkansas has not used Gage Wood in long since he came back from his injury. We talked about that when LSU hosted Arkansas, and that's really been the case. I'm pulling up Gage Wood's game-by-game pitching log here. Last week against Tennessee, 3 1/3. Against Creighton, 6 innings. Against Tennessee, 3 innings. LSU, 2 innings. Texas, 4 innings. Florida, 3 innings. Like, his longest outing of the year is 6 innings against Creighton in regional, and he's at 6 innings right now. That out, let's see what's his high in pitches thrown this year. 89 in that Creighton game is the most pitches he's thrown. So if you're looking at that as a target number, 89 pitches for Wood, he's not there yet. He can certainly get him through another inning or two right now at Charles Schwab Field. So it's tighter than Arkansas would like right now, but this is the most commanding 1-0 lead you can have because Arkansas's pitcher is throwing a perfect game to this point. So I'm sure the Hogs would like to add on. Silva's doing a heck of a job for Murray State of keeping them off balance, stranding some runners, and giving his team a chance. But I can promise you this: if Murray State goes 27 up, 27 down, they ain't going to win. So we'll see if they can get a base runner off of Gage Wood, or if it's going to have to be bullpen. The winner of this game between Arkansas and Murray State will play tomorrow night. I did just look that up. So LSU will either play tomorrow night or Wednesday night. They will not play in that 1 o'clock time slot, which is the one that I have feared since we scheduled this trip for obvious reasons. My show is 1 to 3. If LSU plays at 1 o'clock, we got problems. I'd have to go across the river to cover the game, and then Taylor would take over my show from the studio, and quite frankly, a show that I'm not sure would draw listening records. If LSU's playing in the College World Series and we're doing a radio show at the same time. So LSU would love to win tonight. If they do, they'll move on to Wednesday's action in the bracket championship round. If LSU loses tonight, they will play at 6 o'clock against the winner of this game, which looks like at this point it'll be Arkansas, but it's a 1-0 game. Murray State's just going to have to find some semblance of an offense at this point. Speaking of offense, Jared Jones has been a hot topic. I've gotten texts about it. I've gotten tweets about it. We know that Jared Jones was over 5 strikeouts on Saturday. Like, everybody's well aware of that. Most of you probably saw my tweet because it went a little bit viral of the end of practice yesterday. We went over to watch the Tigers work out, and the whole team finished the workout, loaded up their bags, got on the bus, left. Jared Jones and Jacob Rudder and a pitching machine were left in the field because he wanted to keep swinging. And they had the pitching machine about 40 feet away from the plate, and it was spinning breaking balls, and Jared Jones was taking hacks and just trying to work on some things. I know there are a lot of folks that say, hey, you got to get Jared Jones out of the lineup. He's a liability. He strikes out too much. You can't have him in there. And that's an overreaction. It was one game, and you might say, no, he strikes out so much all the time. He does strike out a lot. He's a power-hitting first baseman that has a lot of swing and miss in his game. And Gabe Gackle is a nightmare matchup for him because he probably got the best slider in the College World Series. And he threw that to Jones and struck him out 3 times. But let's not forget that prior to that game on Saturday night, Jared Jones was 6 for 13 over the previous 3 games. That is a 461 clip. It's not like he hasn't gotten a hit in a month and a half. He got 6 hits in the Monday regional game final and then the 2 super regional games. And I'm not suggesting that Jared Jones is going to go out there in this game and he's going to get 4 hits. He's probably going to strike out at least twice tonight because he does strike out. But if you get 1 for 4 with a 2-run double or a 3-run homer and 2 strikeouts, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the big swing, and he's capable of doing that. We know that Jared Jones has feasted on midweek pitching, has feasted on weaker pitching, and at times struggles with the high-end stuff. UCLA, Easton Hawk comes in the 9th inning, get 3 outs, which is really all he does, is not going to throw anybody at you today that's just blowing you away with stuff. They don't have anybody that looks like Gabe Gackle, that looks like Christian Fouch, that looks, honestly, Zach Root. They just don't. They don't have strikeout guys. And I think Jared Jones can get his barrel to the pitching staff. You can bet your bottom dollar they're going to throw him breaking balls. They're going to try to get him to chase. And I'm telling you, he's going to strike out a time or 2 tonight. But if you can get 1 big swing out of the Bear, that may be the difference in the game. And you're talking about a guy who for 3 years has risen up and is now 3rd all-time in home runs at LSU. I'm not going to take a guy who has a 3-year track record of big swings, and because he had 1 night against an elite pitching staff where he struck out 5 times, shove him on the bench. This is not reality. So, again, realize he's going to strike out tonight because he strikes out in every game because he's a big strikeout guy. But you get the 1, maybe 2 big swings, and all of a sudden the game can change. I'm looking forward to potentially seeing that in the ball game tonight. Anthony Ianson gets the ball. I'm hopeful that his bounce back from a bumpy outing last week is the same as Cade Anderson's. That's certainly hope at this point. I don't have a lot of reason to think that it won't go that way. Ianson's been sensational all year. UCLA is a scrappy bunch. They're going to put the ball in play probably a little bit more than Arkansas did against Anderson because that's what they do. But hopefully LSU's defense shows up to play, do a good job handling the bunt game. And the big key I gave you earlier in this hour, in this game tonight, you've got to get that leadoff runner out so that they can't get into their bunt game, their hit and run game. You limit their ability to steal bases. That's what UCLA wants to do. Outside of Chalowski, who's a star and can hit it all over the place, they're a very scrappy West Coast team. Hopefully Ianson is ready for that. He grew up on the West Coast. He grew up going to UCLA games. He pitched on the West Coast for 2 years. Hopefully LSU is ready. They worked on bunt defense a good bit in their practice yesterday when we were out there at the field. So it's about it. We got one more order of business left to do, and then, of course, is take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Presented to you by Flight by Yingling, the next generation of light beer, crafted by America's oldest brewery. Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Tonight. Awesome addition to the fridge where you're playing golf, at the pool, on the lawnmower, or just hanging out at the house. Perfect summer beer, the next generation of light beer. It's Flight by Yingling.
All righty, first one here, the Jacob Beck Show. Take it or leave it.
We're going to leave that. Clearly, you didn't read my text message very properly. You were saying that you thought J.J. Spawn was going to shoot 6 under par, which was ludicrous. It certainly didn't happen. He did win the U.S. Open, though, and that was quite a putt. I enjoyed watching that in the sports book very, very much yesterday.
Whatever. All right, next one, Sam Burns got
to take that. I don't know how much it mattered on the swing and the strike. I can't. I'm not a physicist, and I don't know exactly how water is going to impact what he was doing there with that swing, and I don't know if he's going to catch J.J. Spawn anyway. Spawn finished with 4 birdies in the last 7 holes, but that was clearly casual water. Like when I play golf and I'm trying to play by the rules and it's wet out there in South Louisiana, like you just take your spike and you just push next to the ball, and if water comes up, like that's casual water, and you drop it. And they were playing the rule at Oakmont where you just look at it, and 2 guys that looked at it, I think, determined that it wasn't an issue. Oakmont takes itself very, very seriously in terms of how difficult it's going to be, and you're not going to get a lot of leniency, I don't think, from the rules officials. I hated the ruling. I thought they screwed it up. I don't think it cost them the tournament, but it certainly didn't help.
Yeah, I think that after that shot, and he just kind of lost mental there and
duffed the chip.
Yeah, the duff the chip. Yeah, so after that, and I think you're right. Even if he makes, he still has to probably birdie out to even have a chance with what J.J. Spawn did. But still, really unfortunate for our guy Sam. But top 10s and back-to-back U.S. Opens. So that's a good sign for our guy. Next one here, the Memphis Grizzlies traded Desmond Bain to the Orlando Magic for Contavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, 4 unprotected first-round picks, 1 first-round pick swap. The Magic got swindled. Take it or leave it.
Take it. I'll take it. Here's the deal. I can give you a lot of information about Arkansas's bullpen. I can tell you a lot about how UCLA wants to play offense tonight. I'm just going to put all the cards out there on the table. I know that I'm a sports talk host on a local channel that you listen to at times. I've never heard of that guy. I don't know who that is. Where did he go to college? What does he do? Who is he?
So Desmond Bain is, I think, a 3rd or 4th year player for the Grizzlies. He's a shooting guard. He's 6'5". He's had pretty good years with the Grizzlies. He's been kind of he's kind of been the second guy in terms of scoring for the Grizzlies behind Ja Morant. Averaged 19 points last year. I think 6 rebounds. He's a solid player. He's not a guy that you would trade 4 first-round picks for. So I am really stunned by this. The Magic say they're going all in. Well, yeah, you're going all in with that. But for a guy like Desmond Bain, who is a very good player, but he's not worth 4 first-round picks. It's really surprising me. But yeah, it's crazy.
The wheels have fallen off here for Murray State. They've gone to their closer, Kellum, who's had a great run, but Arkansas's not him all over the place. He hadn't gotten an out, 3 hits, and it's 3-0 Hogs. And Murray State's just not going to score 3 runs in 3 innings against Arkansas staff, whether it's Wood on the mound or the bullpen. So you can just about turn the lights out on the Racers' run here. Got any more?
All right, last one. Yeah. Otani back on the bump. Take it or leave it.
Take it. I'll take it. As cool a player as has played the game in my lifetime. I wasn't around when Babe Ruth was doing it, and to see a guy that can be potentially the best hitter in Major League Baseball and a guy that starts the All-Star game on the mound, that's a talent that the world needs to see. And so had to come back from Tommy John, hit 40-plus numbers in the process, and now he'll get back on the bump tonight. So that's not great news for the Cubs in the National League that he's doing that, but it's great news for the sport. So I'll choose the sport here as we sit here in June, and I'll choose the club. All right, that's it for me here at the Ameristar in Council Bluffs. We'll be here tomorrow for a 1 o'clock show. If you missed any of today's show, catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. I'm headed across the way to the stadium. Come on, Tigers, let's get it done.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical is giving back. A family in need right here in our community.